Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. We're back in the laundromat after some huge changes. We're going to see if those changes decreased or increased our sales because it's been a disaster zone here the last week or so, but it's been really exciting too. A lot of these dryers are new, and we'll talk about which ones work and don't work because I did buy a lot of this equipment used and got a really good deal on it. But with that, you don't always know if all of it works, and we'll see how that process went because we do have a few machines that aren't quite up and working yet. But we got some monsters in here, these 80-pound washers, which we did not have before, which I think will be really good for the business. We also added a 60-pounder, a 40-pounder, the dryers, as I mentioned, rearranged some things, and yeah, we did a lot of work too. So we'll have a full video going over everything we did, the process we did. It was a lot. It's not just moving machines in. You know, you've got utilities, taking out windows so they will fit, venting, and then repairing some of the ones that aren't quite working right. So we'll talk about all that here as soon as it's all done because we're still tweaking and fixing things here and there. I was surprised that the laundromat had an awesome weekend this past weekend, and that was with only a few dryers working. So I was checking the money now. I checked the money on Monday. We had $1,011 come in to our change machine over the weekend, which is almost a record. I think the second most ever. I did fill this up a couple times over the week, so there's not a ton of change gone because I've been filling it up, but I was going to see how much cash is in here, and we'll total that all up to see what we have. And of course, we have a chart at the end of the video too that shows us our sales and cash collected as well. There's a decent amount here, but I think definitely not like a massive amount, especially when I spill most of it onto the ground. But people always ask, you know, this isn't profit. You can't double count your money. You're right. This is not profit, but this is the cash we take out of the business. And people always ask me, well, how much of a pain is it to roll quarters and send quarters to the bank? We don't roll quarters. The bank does not want rolled quarters. I don't think they would trust me to have the right amount in all those rolls. And the quarters we collect pretty much go right back in this change machine. And when we have extra quarters, like we did a couple weeks ago, maybe every 3 or 4 months, we'll take some quarters to the bank. They have a change counter that does that. All right, our first box of the day is we're going to see how we did. We ended up with a little under $1,600 in cash for the week, which isn't a ton, but that always varies. And this is our 80-pounder, which was working for a little bit. So people have been using it. The problem with it, why it says out of order, is it's got like a stuck valve, we think, and every once in a while it just starts dumping water into our drain, even if it's not turned on, and that's not very good for our water bill. But it does work besides that, so we think we can fix it and hopefully get that one up and running. This one's up and running. We'll talk about our prices here in a little bit too, because these are only $8 right now for an 80-pound washer, which is very, very cheap. The cheapest for sure in our town. And we've got new coin boxes in there, but we still have issues with them. So I don't know how to change those prices yet. That's something I've been trying to figure out. I have been able to change some of the dryers, but not all of them. So I'm trying to figure that out too. And there's still, like I said, quite a bit of work to be done. These washers we already had. There are 27-pound washers, kind of like a 2-3 load, I guess is what they consider it. You can see the baskets of laundry right there. And these are a little fuller than normal because we have 3 more of these, and those were out of commission pretty much all week. Not pretty much all week. They were out of commission while we rearranged stuff because we moved them from where the 80-pound washers were over here. So here's one of the new 60-pound washers that also we need to work on. The 40-pounder's new. It works. And then, yeah, here are the other 30-pounders that literally just got installed today. So they're up and running now and working, but literally today because we had to redo drains, redo a lot of stuff to make those work. Power, luckily we got it all done. That was a little scary for a little bit. We'll talk about that. These are hips, like 2-load machines kind of, and these were here when I bought the laundromat, or I didn't buy it, I just took it over. And there should be a little bit more in these too, because we took out a bunch of white Horizons, which are the same size, and so people would use these more. That one also had some issues. the seal came off the door, so it would just dump water on the ground when people used it. We did get that fixed. It's working now, but literally was just fixed a couple days ago. So we've been getting stuff fixed. We're getting new machines in. Now we're just hoping that revenue increases to pay for all these changes we made. Because while I got a really good deal on these machines, they're still very, very expensive. If I would have bought the machines I bought new, boy, with let me see if I can get a rough estimate. We got 5 45-pound dryers, so we probably would have spent $90,000 to $100,000 on the new machines we got. Not new to me. We got them for way, way, way less. But like I said, there comes some risks with that, but our risk is able to afford to pay for those repairs because of the deal we got. So should be really cool once we get everything kind of up and running and stabilized, and then people figure it out too, because that's the other issue as well. Now we have enough machines and big enough machines, people can do all their laundry here, because we had some people before who would go to other places to use big machines. Now they don't have to. These are our front machines up here. So these we usually change, or get the change twice a week because they get so full. These might not get used as much now anymore though, since we have the big 80-pounders in back. We'll see. This one we still need to figure that one out. That's a good machine. And this is my 60-pound machine. This used to be my biggest machine I had before. And yeah, I think they're getting used just a little bit less with the other ones, or it could be all the chaos and lack of dryers we had up and running all week. So for a good chunk of the week, we only had 3 stackable dryers up and running, our smaller ones. So that definitely makes it a little harder for, they were running nonstop all week. And then people came in there, saw they were running. We probably had some people leave. So it'll be interesting to see how this count goes and if it's close to what we had the last few weeks. So I'm kind of hoping for at least 1,600 quarters from the front machines. I split it out like that. Could be less, though, because like I said, people might be using the back machines more. But we did get 1,750 or so. And then this is all the rest of the machines. And my bucket was fairly full. So I was pretty surprised. Last week I was surprised because we didn't really have a drop-off in sales. I kind of expected this week to maybe have that drop-off because we had such a long period where we were short on dryers, short on washers too. But I was surprised. My bucket is pretty full. So we'll see what we've got here. Now, going into the future, I'm really hoping we can improve our sales by 25%, which would mean instead of making $1,800 a week, we're making $2,500 a week. That'd be pretty sweet. So 5,300 quarters. That was actually more than I thought we would have. So that's pretty cool to see. All right, here's our dryers. So these are the new dryers, 45-pounders. They're bigger than my other ones. And I did change the price. They came to me with $7, 7 minutes a quarter, which is so cheap for big dryers. My 30-pound dryers are 7 minutes a quarter, and they're so cheap for our area too. Most places are cheaper. So these are really cheap. These right here, I was able to change to 5 minutes a quarter. But these here, I tried to program, and I could not figure them out. So that's one of the more frustrating things. And I said we literally just got them up and running. Had to redo some vents and stuff as well. But gosh, it's like you could have the exact same machine that's 3 years older. They change all the programming, how it works, how to set it up, just because I don't know if they just want, their people to work on them and techs to work on them. But it's very frustrating because I feel like every single machine I have has different programming technique and structure and different stuff for prices. So here are our old ones that got used a bunch. So these should be very full. I feel like these were running just nonstop. Although that one wasn't quite as full as I thought it could be. But still. Pretty full. So definitely not overflowing, but they got their use, that is for sure. pretty decent. So we'll see how much this is compared to last week too. And then I'm really thinking this will be the turning point. From this point forward, we will just see stuff go up and up and up. But hopefully it's not wishful thinking. Hopefully that's accurate thinking. Okay, so here's the dryer money. Kind of shooting for at least 1,600 here too. Our record, I think, was what, 2,100 quarters, in that range. So I don't think we're going to set a record today, but hopefully we're close to what we've been doing. Actually, that's looking really good. And then, the one thing those new dryers have, they've got a dollar coin slot. So they have a dollar coin slot, and it's actually, if you put $1 in, they give you an even better deal. It's even cheaper than 7 minutes a quarter. And that's kind of cool. 1860, that's really good. 1868, sorry. But my coin counter gets messed up by dollar coins, and I wasn't sure how to figure out how to change the dollar coin price either, so we just blocked off the dollar coins so people can't use them and just have the quarters. So here's our soap machine. Of course, we checked that. It was pretty marginal this week, not much in there. Like I said, with a lot of chaos in there, that could be part of it. We have some pretty die-hard customers and some people that come back all the time. We even have some people doing wash and fold at our laundromat, then go deliver it to people. So I think those people are going to come back no matter what. And hopefully we can get just some more other customers coming. That dime fell out. Not sure where that came from, but hopefully that's not jammed up. It hasn't done that for a long time, knock on wood. If you guys remember when I first was running this vending machine, I feel like it got jammed every couple of weeks when people would try to put pesos or different coins in there, pennies, but we haven't had an issue lately, and it did still work, so that's good. That's an okay amount. We haven't had as much in the vending machine, I feel like, since the pop machine broke. I think they kind of go hand in hand, where if you don't really want to snack unless you can have a drink with it, but again, that's kind of been the low priority recently with everything else going on. So this is the soap machine. We'll count it first. Like I said, it didn't seem like there was much in there, and there's not. So we'll add that up on our chart too, show you where it ends up. And then the vending machine had a little bit more in there, but not a lot. There was a nickel that just flew out. There you go. That goes in the box of loose change. So, not bad, not amazing, but is okay. So like I said, these are the machines that are real cheap right now, and I try to program them. I have keys for them, which is awesome, but all I was able to do was just turn them on for 10 minutes. And then this is one of the big washers I was trying to figure out how to program, and I was messing around with it. I'm like, oh, I changed the price, it's $10.25 now. Then I realized it's got like an extra rinse, extra wash cycle on the bottom, and that increases the price, and it has different prices for all the different load types. So it's not quite as cheap as I thought it was, which is good, because if you want to do different load types and different stuff, it gets more expensive. But I still would like to increase those prices a little bit, because $8 is really, really cheap. So again, this weekend, until I figure that out, some of the dryers, some of the washers will be pretty cheap for people, and that's just their bonus. Like I said, we had to add some vents, all new venting for those dryers because they have bigger vents. So we had our HVAC guys come do that. So like I said, it was not a cheap or easy process to do all of this. But, it's not just, adding a couple $1,000s a month in sales. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we do that. But when you add a couple $1,000s in sales per month, that's adding $20,000, $30,000 in sales per year. And that's adding $60,000, $90,000 in value to the business. So it does add value to the business as well. It's not just the money coming in. The laundromat is definitely a business you could sell. Tons of people want laundromats, especially ones that are set up with big machines, big dryers, what we have now. All right, here is our sales chart. We'll see how we did after adding up all the quarters. In the beginning, I took this over in September of 2023. We spent some time and money back then adding some new machines, new to me machines, fixing some machines, making the laundromat better. And we saw Sales increased slowly over time, which was really cool to see. Back earlier this year, we're kind of stuck at $1,200 to $1,300 a week. And I was like, ooh, hopefully it doesn't stop there, because that's real close to what our break even was. And then we had some breakthroughs and some plateaus and some records, which was good to see. So the laundromat does make money. Our fixed costs every month are probably around $4,500, in that range. Might go up a little bit if we have more usage, people using the machines more just because of our utilities. But our cleaning's pretty set, our rent's pretty set, utilities, cameras, etc., things like that. So then we kind of had a little plateau again, where we're just kind of real stuck around that 1,700. Maybe we'd hit 1,800, and wasn't sure what was going on there. But then we had our record right there, September 1st, which was cool to see. We tended to break through that plateau just a little bit, and then we started counting our cash. And this week we were at $1,857.50, which is almost exactly the same as last week. I think it's slightly higher even than last week, which I was not expecting at all. I was definitely expecting to be a little lower than last week. So yeah, last week was 1842, this week 1857. So we've definitely broken through our plateau just a little bit. We're 1,800 to 1,900 the last month. Actually 1,800 to 2,000 the last month. But again, it'd be nice to really break through it, really smash it, and hopefully kind of make a jump like we did earlier in the year from 1,300 to 1,800, 1,700. Maybe we can make that jump from 1,800, 1,900 to 2,500, and we'll see if we can make that happen. Like I said, a few more repairs to make on the machines. That should help. We're definitely going to do a little bit of marketing, let people know we have big machines, things are working, we have bigger dryers. I think the bigger dryers are really going to be a help, because some of the wash and fold people we talked to said they can do, comforters and big blankets and big loads in our washers, but the 30-pound dryers are too small for them. 45-pound dryers are definitely big enough and will work. Now it'd be nice to have a 75-pound dryer, but we just don't have room for one of those. So for now, I think the laundromat is set up kind of how we want it. I'm really happy with the machines we have, where they're at. Well, not really where they're at. It's kind of haphazard and not symmetrical, but I'm happy with the machines we have. And I think we're going to leave it like this for a little while, see how it does, and then hopefully, things go well. And it's a pretty hands-off business. I have my other small laundromat. Doesn't make any money. Doesn't have any room. Doesn't have good machines. That one's more work than this one, because we can't afford to pay anyone to clean it, do anything there. This one, we have cleaners. We have people maintain the machines. Pretty much my job is to go collect quarters and make videos about it. And then once in a while, if I see a good deal on Facebook Marketplace or something, I go buy some random washers and dryers. We make it a little better. But this one's fun. This one's pretty exciting to see all this work done. Thanks to my guys who pretty much had our own contractors and people going to get the machines, install them, put them in. So they've learned a lot. So that's really cool to see. So thank you to them for that. And we'll see how these coming weeks do. Hopefully we have some awesome increases. If not, it's not the end of the world. Maybe it'll just take a little more time. And I hope you guys come along and see how we do. We'll have videos of the other laundromat too, and we can see its journey, which isn't quite as much fun, but maybe just as interesting to some people. And of course, we'll have other videos on our flips, rentals, different stuff going on. I may be buying another business, a pretty exciting one here soon. I'll talk about it a little bit more as that progresses, but it is definitely related to something I have now. Not a laundromat. It's not another laundromat, although I'd be very interested in getting another laundromat. It's funny, I've talked to a few of the people in town, and the two other, I've talked to one, heard from the others. Basically, both of the other laundromat owners in town that I've talked to said their goal is to own every laundromat in town. Not sure how it's going to work, since that's both of their goals, and I'm also not planning to sell mine. I feel like everybody really likes the laundromats they have, and they make pretty good money. So It's a pretty fun business to be in. Seems to do pretty well. And we'll just keep chugging along here. Thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.